Good evening and welcome to Draw 12 of the 2023 Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships here live in Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. So sorry for the delay in the start of this one. We had some technical difficulties, but we're ready to go. Team Canada currently sitting 3 in the first end of play. And that stone just slides over the hog line for Team Canada, taking away this draw on the right-hand side. They've had a great start to this first end against Team Sweden. So Team Canada has qualified for the playoffs. They are the first team to qualify out of Group B. Their current standings are 6 wins, 0 losses. Latvia is currently sitting in second, 5 wins, 2 losses. England has 4 wins, 2 losses. Germany has 4 wins, 2 losses. Korea, 3 wins, 2 losses. Italy, 2 wins, 4 losses. Denmark, Japan, and Sweden are all sitting at 1 and 5. And a nice takeout there by Team Sweden. Moving the Canadian stones. There is room for Team Canada to make a play on this yellow Sweden stone sitting on the top of the forefoot. So there are 2 more draws still to come for the World Wheelchair Mixed Doubles Championship. So they've got 2 games tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and again at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So lots of curling action still to come in the Mixed Doubles Curling Championship. And a nice looking rock by Thiessen of Team Canada. The Richmond Curling Center is hosting 2 World Wheelchair Curling Championships this week. They've got the 12 teams in the World Wheelchair Curling Championships, and there's 19 teams in the Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. So it's been a busy week here, lots of athletes, spectators, a great volunteer crew. So it looks like Team Sweden will have an opportunity. Looks like there's room to either play a double, or this ice looks like they're opting for the draw. Team Canada does have hammer here in the first end. Draw 12. So Anderson of Sweden throwing the final stone in the first end. Teammate Carlson holding the broom at the far end. And this freeze attempt comes a little bit deep, just rubbing off the Canadian stone on the forefoot. So an opportunity here for Team Canada to open up the big score of 3. So Joseph throwing the final stones in the first end for Team Canada. If you're watching mixed doubles for the first time, 2 stones are placed to start the end, and each team will throw 5 stones. So away from Thiessen, he likes the look of this rock. And right on the mark, a nice draw to the forefoot for Joseph of Team Canada. A round of applause from our spectators, appreciating a nice stone. If you're joining us for the first time, our ice player assistants will clear the houses for these athletes. They'll put the rocks in order and they will clean them for all the athletes, keeping them clean of debris. Without sweeping, it's really important that these rocks are clean for the athletes to deliver them.
Except the second last one, I thought, okay, this we don't need. But then, it was the wrong one.
So in mixed doubles, teams do have the option of adjusting their lineup after the completion of each end. So they have the option of throwing the first stones and the last stones, or throwing the middle 3 stones. So with Team Canada scoring 3 in the first end, their stone will be placed as a centerline guard, and Team Sweden's rock will be placed at the back of the 4-foot. So it looks like both teams are opting to stick with the same rotation to start the second end. We'll see Joseph of Canada throwing the first stones and the last stones. Teammate Thiessen holding the broom at the far end. And it looks like we'll see Anderson throwing the first stones and the last stones for Team Sweden. And Carlson will throw the middle 3 stones. So that draw comes up a little bit short. Still a good rock positioning for Team Canada. Shrinking down the path to the 4-foot. The two sides of the sheet were running a little bit different in last night's evening game, so we'll keep an eye out to see if it's reacting the same here tonight. The left-hand side of the sheet was running a little bit straighter and faster, and we noticed there was a lot more curl on the right hand of the sheet, meaning athletes will have to adjust to the speed on the two sides. Nice line coming in on this draw for Team Sweden. And Anderson is right on the mark, leaving that one on the back button. Looks like both teams are opting to have a teammate at the end with a broom, giving the athlete delivering the rock a target. Other teams may choose to throw without a broom and have their teammates anchoring them at the delivering end. So Thiessen looking to follow the same path. Like to lock this one on to the two stones in the back of the button. Line's looking good. Needs to slow down. Oh, and just a couple feet heavy there. Really nice line. Sticks the shooter in the rings. But still, Team Sweden sitting two with hammer in the second end. So great opportunity here for Team Sweden to set themselves up for multiple point score. So 6 teams total will qualify for the playoffs. 2 teams have qualified so far. So Team Canada qualifying out of Pool B. And Team China is qualified out of Group A. So lots of exciting mixed doubles curling action still to come. These last 3 draws will be really important for those teams looking for one of those last 4 qualifying spots. So a little heavy there by Team Sweden. This will give the Team Canada an opportunity to play the draw. Oh, just rubs on that center guard. Weight looked really nice there. That rock just curling a little bit early. So Team Sweden looking for a rock on the 4-foot line. They'd like this to be biting in the 12-foot to take away that freeze path from Team Canada. Line looks good here. It needs this rock to stop. I'll rest just on the tee line. With that rock sliding behind the tee, Team Canada will have a couple of options. So they could look to play a hit and remove some of Team Sweden's stones out of the rings, or they could opt to make a freeze. They can get a stone right on the button in the middle, would really take this end away from Sweden. So being up 3, and we know Thiessen's been on the mark with his hits this week, Team Canada is looking for a double or a hit and a roll. Line's really close here. And a nice shot by Thiessen of Team Canada. Makes the hit, rolls the shooter over. It'll be more difficult for Team Sweden to remove this red Canadian stone. They'll have to cross the nose in order to avoid any jams. They'd like to bring their stones back into play that are in the back of the 4-foot and back 8-foot. Lots of rocks in play with the mixed doubles game. So look across the sheets, there's tons of rocks in play on every sheet. Having the 2 play stones, it brings the play into the middle early. So looking for a soft weight tap here. It's like Team Sweden had a little slip with the delivery stick. So Carlson will reset. Line needs to hold. Looks really good. Curls past the corner guard. And a beautiful shot by Carlson of Team Sweden. A finesse shot. Just bumps the Canadian stone back. Leaves the shooter in a good position. So Team Canada in a little bit of trouble here in the second end without hammer. There is a double available. Get this stone in the right spot, could remove a couple at a play, and it might even catch some of the back ones in the 8-foot. So looking to connect on the double, leave the shooter in the 8-foot. So a big shot here coming up from Joseph of Team Canada in the second end of draw 12. So while we're waiting, it looks like Italy took 1 over Japan after the first end. England took 1 over Germany after the first end of play. Korea took 3 over Denmark after the first end. Canada is currently up 3-0 over Sweden after the first end. Norway took 1 over Finland in the first. And Slovakia took 1 over Poland. Final stone coming up for Team Canada. Looking for the double. This rock needs to curl up a little more. So connects on the top one, doesn't quite curl enough. So Team Sweden currently sitting 2. Final stone coming up from Anderson. There is a hit for 5 available for Team Sweden. They only need to move that Canadian stone about a foot in order to score a big end here. So this ice looks like they're playing backhouse weight, just enough to push that Canadian stone into the back of the rings. Oh, and a missed opportunity there for Team Sweden. That was the right weight for that shot. Looks like they may have had a little bit too much ice. But a great attempt there. They'll still score 2 to bring this game 3-2 after the second end. Anyone tuning in that's nearby to Richmond, British Columbia, Canada, we welcome you to come down to the curling club, catch the action live. There is seating out on the ice so you can listen to the athletes. Down on the ice level, you can really feel the energy. There's lots of positivity, lots of camaraderie out there. You hear the athletes encouraging one another. Constant communication is key. They learn as much as they can from each stone that they throw, watching the line, timing the rocks, learning the paths. So Canada will have hammer here in the third end. Team Sweden opting to stick with the same rotation we've seen for the first 2 ends. We've seen Anderson throwing the first stones and the last stones. Carlson throwing the middle 3 stones. Team Sweden looking for the come around draw. Ideally, they'd like this drop to be anywhere from the top 8 foot to the top button. And that one will over curl and come up a little bit short. So Team Canada also sticking with their same rotation. Joseph will throw the opening stone here on the third end. Looking to come around that yellow Canadian stone on the center. So teammate Thiessen likes the line of this rock. Line looking really nice on the stone by Joseph. And she'll rest just at the back of the button. So great stone there by Joseph of Team Canada. Team Sweden will be looking to follow this down. There is room to freeze one on the button. A little wider line here than the first two stones that we've seen in this end. It's been running a little bit straighter. It just won't quite catch the curl. With that stone being about 6 feet heavier, it just doesn't quite come up to freeze onto the Canadian stones. It's an opportunity here for Thiessen. Tolerance on this shot will be top 8 foot to top 4 foot. You want to keep this stone in front of the tee line. A little bit of a miscue there by Thiessen. Overlaps the guards. But it will change the draw path slightly on this next stone for Team Sweden. So Team Sweden looking to remove these guards. This will open things up to give them an opportunity to make a play on the Canadian stones sitting on the button and the back 4 foot. So Carlson catches the Sweden stone, leaves the Canadian corner guard, does open up the stones on the 4 foot. So we'll see Team Canada looking to make a draw. Haven't seen as much play on this side of the sheet yet. Thiessen of Team Canada looking to make the come around draw. Big finish on the stone as it crosses the hog line. Just over curl. bit of a break there for Team Sweden. They do have a pathway into those Canadian stones. Had that Canadian stone stopped on the center line or just to the right hand of the center line, it would have taken away this hole. So a precise shot coming up here from Carlson of Sweden. So they're looking to make a play in their stone. I'm a little surprised here watching the few shots that have come down the side of the sheet. There is big finish. Those are really high center line guards. So there is room to make a play on those Canadian stones. Looks like they've opted for the run back. And that rock will over curl. So a nice run back attempt by Carlson of Team Sweden. This will give Team Canada more room to draw another stone into the rings. The yellow Team Sweden guard was in the draw path previously. So this gives Thiessen tons of room to bring another stone into the rings. So looks like Thiessen has made the adjustment, has thrown more weight on this one than his previous stone. This one should finish and stop on the back of the forefoot. So a really close attempt there by Thiessen. Slides a little bit heavy. He did make a nice adjustment from the first one. These players are going to have to watch their weight on both sides of these sheets as they are reacting a little bit different. So final stone of Team Sweden by Anderson. Chance here to make a freeze on the Canadian stones grouped in the back button, back forefoot. So a good freeze here to take away a multiple point score end from Team Canada. Rock's curling, comes off that forefoot line really hard. Really nice weight on that rock. So it looks like Team Canada may still be sitting one. It's difficult from this angle to tell if they're sitting more than one, but a really well thrown stone by Anderson of Team Sweden. Rock is completely buried, and this will give the draw to the button for Joseph of Team Canada. Final stone from Team Canada, about to be thrown here in the third end, draw 12, 2023 World Wheelchair Mixed Doubles Curling Championships. Thiessen indicating Joseph's right on the broom. Rock taking its time, getting to the forefoot, put away from her teammate. have to wait for the umpire to input the score to know for sure how many Team Canada scored here in the third. So it looks like Canada scored 2 in the third end, going up 5-2 over Sweden after 3 ends of play. On sheet A, it's currently Italy up 4-2 over Japan after 3 ends of play. On sheet B, England is up 2-1 over Germany after 3 ends of play. On sheet C, Korea is up 3-1 over Denmark after 2 ends of play. On our live stream sheet D, it is Canada up 5-2 over Sweden after 3 ends of play. On sheet E, it's Norway up 3-1 over Finland after 3 ends of play. And on sheet F, it's currently tied 2-2 between Poland and Slovakia after 3 ends of play. So an exciting first 3 ends of play here. Lots of rocks in play by both teams. So stick around for more curling action as we head into the fourth end. And we're off in the fourth end here. Team Canada drawing to the top 4 foot. Nice stone there by Joseph of Team Canada. So Anderson of Sweden looking to draw to the top 4 foot as well. Taking the other turn here in the fourth end. So over on sheet C, it looks like Denmark has called a timeout early. A really nice draw there by Anderson of Sweden. Team Canada looking to draw this stone on top of the yellow Sweden stone in the button. Their goal this end will be to limit Sweden to 1, or perhaps steal a point. Team Sweden's going to need to get some stones in the control area ahead of the tee line in order to give themselves an opportunity to score a couple points with hammer here in the fourth. So a good attempt there by Thiessen of Team Canada. He does to push the yellow Sweden stone off of the back button. And the shooter will roll to the back 8 foot. So it's still Team Canada sitting 1, Team Sweden sitting 2nd and 4th. Line looking good on the straw by Carlson. Team Sweden sitting 1. Team Canada sitting 2nd. And we are back. So after the first 4 ends of play, it's currently in Team Canada up 6-2 over Team Sweden. Looks like Team Sweden is opting to use their power play here in the 5th end. Each team gets 1 power play per game, where the team with hammer gets to set up the rocks on either side of the sheet. So they'll have a corner guard, and their stone will be on the tee line, just on the edge of the 8-foot. So in between the break, the sheets do get a mop, so the sheepskin goes down, clears the ice of any debris. Typically, you will see the rocks gliding down the sheet. So far this week, after the break, we've seen a lot of stones coming up short. So we'll see if the athletes can make the adjustments in order to have enough weight for these draws in these first couple of shots of the 5th end. And this one's looking good from Joseph. Needs to slow down. And it looks like it might have just hung on to the back 12-foot. So an opportunity here for Anderson of Team Sweden to use that corner guard. And I like to draw this stone anywhere from top 12-foot to frozen on the one in the rings. So both teams sticking with the same lineups that we've seen for the first 4 ends of play. In doubles, teams have the option to adjust their lineups, so the players can either throw the first stones and the last stones of the end, or they can choose to throw the middle 3 stones. So that stone will be a center line guard. Team Sweden currently sitting 1. They started this end using their power play. So they'll look to draw the stone around the corner guards on the right-hand side of the screen. Ryan looking pretty good. Needs to hold the line to get by that tight corner guard. Oh, just gets by and will stop this rock a full 8-foot. A beautiful stone by Carlson of Team Sweden. Really nice weight on that one. In practice, we see a lot of play coming to the middle, so sometimes those draws across the sheet towards the wings. We've seen him come up a little short, but Carlson makes no mistake on that one. Looks like Team Canada is going to play a hit on the yellow stones. Because 3 stones have been played at this end, the guards can be removed from play. And a nice hit and roll there by Thiessen of Team Canada. The Canadian stone will spin, biting the 8-foot. It's difficult to tell from this angle who is sitting second shot. But with that stone being wide open and Sweden having hammer, we'll likely see a hit on this throw. So an update from Sheet C, it's currently Korea up 5-2 over Denmark after 4 ends of play. So hit being thrown by Team Sweden. You'd like to hit and keep your rock in play here. So it just gets past the corner guard. And it'll hit and roll just out of the rings. So Carlson connects to make the Canadian stone disappear. Can't quite hold the shooter on that one. So an opportunity here for Thiessen to throw the same line as the first. More room to connect with the Sweden stone on the top 8 foot. There's lots of finish to the wings. Needs to curl up a little more, so connects. And it'll hit and roll the shooter into the full 4 foot. So a great stone by Thiessen of Team Canada. Removes the yellow Sweden stone out of the play and rolls the shooter behind cover. Team Sweden still sitting second shot in the rings. Now look to peel the red Canadian stone just off the center line. They'll have to watch where they hit this rock. If you hit it early, there is a jam possibility on their yellow stone on the side 8 foot. They can hit this on the inside and roll towards the corner would be ideal. And a really nice stone by Carlson. The delivered stone just rolls a little bit too far. If that could have stopped behind the red Canadian stone, it may have taken away this hit from Joseph. So Joseph looking to follow the same line as teammate Thiessen here. Chance to remove this yellow Sweden stone out of play. There's room here to hit about a quarter or a half. At least to remove the stone would leave Team Canada sitting 2. They can get close to nose. They may keep the shooter to sit 3. There's still 2 draws left in the World Wheelchair Mixed Doubles Curling Championships. You can catch all the action again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So final stone coming, needs to curl. Just doesn't quite get the curl on that stone. So a little miscue there by Joseph of Team Canada. So this gives Team Sweden an opportunity to hit and stick for 2. So far we've seen Team Sweden taking a little more ice and throwing a little less weight than the Canadians on their hits. So final stone of the 5th end coming from Anderson of Team Sweden, looking for the hit and stick for 2. Line's looking nice. And Anderson will be right on the mark. So 2 points on the board for Team Sweden after 5 ends of play here on Sheet D of the Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. So on Sheet A, it's currently Italy up 6-2 over Japan after 5 ends of play. On Sheet B, England is up 5-2. over Germany after 5 ends of play. On our feature sheet D here, it is 6-4 for Canada over Sweden after 5 ends of play. And we're just waiting for the final stones to be delivered on the other 3 sheets. So I'd like to give a big thank you to the organizing committee of both World Wheelchair Curling Championships here in Richmond this week. They've done a fantastic job with the ice, the volunteers. Athletes have been smiling. They come on and off the ice all week. And it looks like Team Canada is going to use their power play here in the 6th end. Each team with hammer has the opportunity to use their power play once per game. So they'll get to set up their rocks as a corner guard and then a stone just in front of the team line. So we have a score update on sheet F. It's currently Slovakia up 4-2 over Poland after 5 ends of play. So some close games out on the ice this evening. Only 2 of 6 qualifying spots have been determined. There's still 4 qualifying spots for playoffs. Some teams with some close records. So they're all looking to get one of those final 4 spots available. So this event does have 19 teams. It is the 2nd Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. This event is scheduled for the 2026 Paralympic Games. Both teams sticking with their same rotation. If you're watching mixed doubles for the first time, the teams do have the option to adjust their lineups at the completion of each end. So they have the option to throw the first stones and last stones, or they can throw the middle 3 stones. So Sweden's first stone slides into the rings. Team Canada looking to bring the stone in the rings. They might be looking to make a freeze or a tap on that yellow Sweden stone. Not so that stone not quite coming close enough to the rings. Does end up covering Sweden's stone on the forefoot. It's an opportunity here for Team Sweden to draw another stone into the rings. Ideally, they'd like this rock to be in front of theirs in the forefoot. So this one will rest just in the back button. Nice weight. Didn't quite get the line on that one, so the stone is completely open. Team Canada can make a play on the Sweden stone on the button. So from sheet E, we have an update. It's currently Norway up 8-1 over Finland after 5 ends of play. So Finland will have some work to do on sheet E in order to get themselves back in their game. You can catch all of the other games live on the Curl BC YouTube live streams. So a hit coming here from Thiessen, just gets by their top corner guard and makes a beautiful double and rolls to split the rings. Beautiful curling shot. These athletes are so precise. Once they throw these stones, there's no time to correct. They don't have sweeping to help hold the line or make a rock curl, so these athletes make these shots all on their own. So room here for Team Sweden to make the come around draw. Team Canada currently sitting 2 with Hammer here in the 6th end. Oh, my apologies. It looks like the ice was for the hit. So Team Sweden looking for a hit and roll here. Oh, and that one just won't quite curl up for Carlson. Opportunity for Team Canada to draw another stone in the rings. They'd like to sit 3 here. Getting this rock in about the top 8 foot would really put some pressure on Team Sweden here in the 6th. And running just a bit. See some late finish, and it'll just stop in the back 12 foot. So Joseph of Team Canada encouraging that rock to slow down. So room here for Sweden to get a rock in the rings. Good news with that Canadian stone sliding deep, even if Sweden gets this in the 4 foot, there will be room to bump it out of the house. This looks like a little less ice than the previous stone for Carlson. As the week goes on, sometimes we'll see the rocks straighten out and the ice straighten out. It might not have quite as much curl as what we saw earlier this week. We noticed this a bit in the afternoon game. And that stone will just slide to the back 8 foot. So a nice attempt there by Carlson of Sweden. Joseph taking a look to see who's currently sitting shot between the stones. So I had about a 12.5 hog to hog on that drop. Earlier in the week, we would have seen that stone stop in the top 4 foot or T line. So these stones are running a little bit straighter. We're not seeing the same curl at the end, meaning that they'll glide a little bit further. So the team that can make the adjustment on these draws will be able to set themselves up in these ends a little bit better. So on sheet C, Korea is currently up 6-2 over Denmark after 5 ends of play. We saw an early timeout in that game, so they're just a little bit delayed behind the rest of the sheets. So looking for a draw here from Team Canada. This one's running a little bit hot. Looking for a little bump on that Yellowstone, and we'll just miss the rub. and bumps theirs out of the rings. Just a little bit less weight, and they would have rubbed that Sweden stone. Not sure who's counting. Final stone coming from Ed. So Anderson slides a little bit deep, bumps the Canadian stone through the rings. Missed opportunity there to put some pressure on the Canadians. If Joseph throws similar weight to Thiesen's last one, a little tighter ice, she'll be able to bump the Sweden stone and give the Canadians a score of 3. So last stone coming up from Team Canada in the 6th end, draw 12, 2023 Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. So look across the sheets, there's lots of rocks in play every end with the mixed doubles. Some really nice curling shots being made across the board by these athletes. Team Canada having a conversation here. Excuse me. It's important that Team Canada scores a point here. Ideally, you'd like to have the hammer in the even ends. So even 1 would put them up by a score of 3 over Team Sweden heading into the 7th. Needs to curl. This looks heavier than the other stones we've seen in this path. And unfortunately, it just goes past the Sweden stones at the back of the 8-foot. So we know these rocks are close. We may see a measure as the teams take a look at the stones around the 8-foot. My rule of thumb, when in doubt, make the measure. So a measure coming up here after the 6th end. So it looks like on sheet F, it's Slovakia up 4-3 over Poland after 6 ends of play. On sheet A, it's Italy up 6-3 over Japan after 6 ends of play. On sheet E, Norway is up 8-4 over Finland after 6 ends of play. A measure happening here on sheet D, keeping us all on our toes to find out what the score is going to be between Canada and Sweden after 6 ends of play. So you'll see our ice player assistants getting these stones ready for the athletes. The stones with the black bands indicate that those are the placement stones at each end. So the team with hammer will get their stone placed in the back forefoot. The team without hammer will get a center line guard. Both teams have used their power plays in this game. It looks like Canada will get one here in the 6th end to go up 7-4 over Sweden after 6 ends of play. So a close point there between Team Canada and Team Sweden. Asking for the measure. So with 2 ends of play left, Team Canada is going to be looking to hold Team Sweden to 1 here. They'd like to have the hammer coming home. So Team Sweden will be looking to score 2 or more if possible. So our score update for sheet B, England is currently up 6-2 over Germany after 6 ends of play. And we've got 2 stones left on sheet C between Korea and Denmark. So our spectator benches on the ice are filling up tonight. Big support here for Team Canada. Looks like we've got Team Japan out cheering on their mixed doubles team. So looking for the come around draw here. This rock's going to need to hold its line to get by. Oh, and it'll just rub that center line guard. So in the mixed doubles, stones on the center line can be moved around on the sheet of ice. They cannot be removed from play until after the 3rd stone has been thrown. So Anderson was stone. Made some legs, will get over the hog line. We'll stop just off the center line. So if you're watching curling for the first time, that thick black line that you see in front of the stones, the rocks do need to come completely over them for them to be in play. So we'll see Team Canada looking to get a stone in the forefoot in front of Sweden and shrink down that scoring area.
So did you start the long clock?
The line on this one looks good. We'll see some finish at the end here. This one should stop in the top 12 foot or just short.
The time clock looks proper on Delta, and the timer believes he got it correct.
Carlson of Sweden looking to draw one in here.
Correct on Delta.
Line looking good. Room past the Canadian stone just in front of the rings. And this one will just tuck a corner in the top 12 foot. So really nice rock placement there by Carlson of Team Sweden. See Team Canada looking to remove the stone from play. They do have a 3-point lead. They're going to want to minimize Team Sweden's scoring opportunities this end. Line's looking good. Needs to hold its line. Oh, and it'll just rub that top corner one, and it'll push the Sweden stone into the side 4 foot. Seeing a little more movement on these stones once they get inside the 4 foot lines. They've been holding a little straighter outside the 4 foot this evening. So Carlson are looking to be replacing the stone that she just threw. And staying on that outside line a little longer. See some late finish as it crosses the 4 foot line. This one isn't going to quite curl as much as the first and stops just biting the top 4 foot. So chance here for Thiessen of Team Canada with the double attempt. I'd like to remove these Swedish stones out of the rings. Tolerance on this shot would be make the double or peel off that center line guard. Stone looking really nice. Almost curls up enough for Thiessen of Team Canada. So connects with the top stone, jams on the one in the back 4 foot. So looks like it might be Team Sweden sitting 2 with hammer. Team Sweden's going to call a timeout. Their coach will come down, talk to the team. We'll talk about options. Maybe a discussion on the line and weight. Sweden has an opportunity to make a play on that Canadian stone and sit 3. This discussion may be more around where they'd like their delivered stone to end up. If they nose that stone, they may leave a double for Team Canada. They do have the option to roll behind their corner, or a third option would be to roll to the center to take away the freeze draw path from Team Canada. So a few options here. We'll see what their coach has to say. And N7, draw 12, the 2023 Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. So we have our first final of the evening on Sheet A. Italy defeats Japan 9-3 after 7 ends. So in mixed doubles, the most points a team can score in one end is 6.
Okay, just hit them on.
So this will improve Italy's standings to 3 and 4 after 7 games, round robin play. So timeout over here. And see where Sweden decides to place the broom. So this looks like the draw attempt for Team Sweden. They do have a hammer in this 7th end. They can always decide to make a play on that open Canadian stone. So just gets the rub and the redirect off of the Canadian stone to rest on the top 4 foot. So a bit of a break there from Team Sweden, getting a little help from the Canadian stone in the rings to bury that stone. Decent of Team Canada. Quick decision here. Looking to make the hit. You're not able to see it on the screen, but these athletes do get 18 inches in which they can place their stone off of the center line. So we see Joseph of Team Canada placing her stone off the center line for this throw. I'll give this rock a little bit different line. This rock needs to curl. It just rubs the Sweden stone. I'm not sure it's pushed it far enough. Not sure if they were attempting to use their own stone or playing the straight hit on that one. We just haven't seen Joseph's rocks come up enough here at the end, so hopefully an adjustment can be made heading into the 8th and final end of play after Sweden delivers their final stone. So on sheet E, it's currently Norway up 8-5 over Finland after 7 ends of play. A few more final stones coming down the ice. We'll have some more score updates here shortly. Of draw 12 of the Mixed Doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championships. So 2 teams have qualified. China has qualified out of Group A. Team Canada has qualified out of Group B. There are 6 teams that will qualify in total, so there's still 4 qualifying spots up for grabs. One of these 17 other teams. So final stone getting ready to be thrown by Anderson of Team Sweden. Looks like they're opting to hit the open Canadian stone and put a big 4 points on the board here in the 7th. So you're not able to see it. Anderson looking for the anchor here. So as these athletes throw more weight, they'll often ask ice player assistance to anchor their chair. So as they throw more weight and push, prevents the chair from slipping, helping to keep them on the line. And a nice control weight hit there by Anderson of Team Sweden. So a big 4 points will go on the board for Sweden. That will put them ahead of the Canadians for the first time in this game, going up 8-7. But it will be Team Canada with hammer heading into the 8th end of play. On sheet B, Germany and England are currently tied 6-6 after 7 ends of play. Slovakia is currently up 5-3 over Poland after 7 ends of play. Some Some exciting finishes here this evening. Draw 12, live from Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. Team Canada has managed to convert with hammer multiple ends of this game. They'll be looking to do that again here in the 8th as they head into the final end here this evening. So each team has one stone that is placed. Team Canada has hammers, so that means their stone will be placed in the back of the forefoot. Team Sweden stone will be placed as a center line guard. So big end in the 7th for Team Sweden, putting them up by 1 over the Canadians. It's going to be an exciting finish here on sheet D for draw 12. Both teams sticking with the same rotation. Anderson's been throwing the first stones and last stones each end of this game. Carlson's been throwing the middle 3 stones. And the Canadians are going to stick with their same rotation as well, with Joseph throwing the first and last stones and Thiessen throwing the middle 3. So a little rub on the guard there on that draw attempt by Team Sweden. So Team Canada looking to get into the rings first. Stone placed anywhere from top 8 foot to top 4 foot, positioning the Canadians well in order to get multiple points this end for that W. Thiessen giving his teammate Joseph a wave. Like the look of the stone. Out of the delivery. He's slowing down a little bit here. Just rubs that center line guard. And we'll roll the shooter as a corner. So both teams rubbing that center line guard here in the 8th. We'll see if they decide to take the wide turns or if they'll make tap attempts on those guards. Team Canada needing to score 1 here to either force an extra or needs to score at least 2 in order to get that W. So big momentum change after the 7th. Team Sweden will be looking to build on that momentum, put some pressure on Team Canada here. So just over curls through that draw through the port attempt, and we'll roll to the side. Opens up the middle. Opportunity here for Canada to draw another stone into the rings, set themselves up for a multiple point score. So with the mixed doubles, having each team only throwing 5 rocks, the pace of this game is quicker than the 4-person mixed event. A missed opportunity there by Thiessen of Team Canada. That stone coming up short as a corner. Sweden's going to be looking at minimizing Canada's scoring opportunities here. So Anderson, no delay in calling the hit on the open Canadian stone in the back of the forefoot. Stone looking good by Carlson of Team Sweden. Oh, and gets a nice roll behind those corner guards. Carlson has made some nice precision shots tonight. Been getting those rolls. Good news for Team Canada is that stone is in the back forefoot, so they have room to play a draw. They could freeze one on top. Like to make it difficult to remove if they can get shot rock out of this stone. So taking a wider line than Thiessen's first one. You see more weight. The previous stone came up a little short. Oh, and that was just going to rub the corner guard. And it'll roll it, biting the 8-foot in the rings. So not a bad outcome on that shot. They do have a stone in play behind cover. Sweden's stone is behind the tee line. So they'll be looking to block this path for Team Canada. They want to make it difficult for them to score this end. And a really well played stone there by Carlson of Team Sweden. So we do have another final on sheet E. Norway defeats Finland with a score of 8-5. Oh, my apologies. The score hasn't gone up from 8. Okay, so it will be Norway defeating Finland with a score of 8-5. They ran Finland out of rocks. Oh, and a beautiful double by Thiessen of Team Canada. Pro-Canadian crowd here this evening. You saw the arms up in the air. Thiessen will be really happy with that stone. Leaves Team Canada sitting 2 with hammer here in the 8th end. So we still have 4 games out on the ice. So final stone coming from Anderson of Team Sweden. Looking to remove the Canadian stone, biting the 8-foot. Looking for a lighter weight hit here. Ideally, they'd like to get to nose. Not sure from this angle if there's enough room for the roll under the Canadian coverage. So big shot here coming up from Anderson of Team Sweden. Looks like this throw may have been a little tight. It'll hit the corner guard. So an unfortunate miss there from Anderson of Team Sweden. And that'll be handshakes. Team Canada remains undefeated and will improve to 6-0. Sorry, they will improve to 7-0 in their standings. 2 games left in the mixed doubles World Wheelchair Curling Championship round robin. So thank you for joining us this evening live from Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. We're having lots of fun hosting 2 World Wheelchair Curling Championships, 31 teams, over 90 athletes. Still tons of curling to come. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time for draw number 13.